This week in comic books and Batman, we learn about Arkham Tower and how it's really just the same thing that we've already read several times. A lot of times. Over in the land of Marvel, we get Dark Reign, Superior 4, and we find other versions of Doc Ock because God knows why make a new character when you can just start blending characters together over and over and over and over again inside of a comic book. And in the land of Independence, I am enjoying the King of Spies. Oh, that was so great. I'm liking it because now we're bringing, the little bit of the ridiculousness into it. And you'll see what I'm talking about right after that intro. Hey, you wonderful weirdos, and Pocan Joe, and as always, you're super cool for swinging by. Love having you here. So we're going to talk about this week's comic books, what's going on in the community, and a quick breakdown of my first 3 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett. Boba Fett. Might as well be Bobo Fett, but whatever. Let's break it down. Let's jump into comic books this week with First Detective Comics number 1048. So I don't want to be hard on this. We've already seen what happens when Hugo Strange took over Arkham, or various other villains that have taken over Arkham in its old state. Now we got Arkham Tower, it's a brand new facility, super sophisticated, got their game locked down, right? Taking care of the mentally ill and the whole 9 yards. And apparently the guy that's running the place is probably a psychopath. In the traditional, or psyopathy, I should say. It looks like he might suffer from psyopathy. He's got this real sketchy past with a crazy mother and how he really didn't care what happened there, so that was a big farce. And then we got Batwoman randomly investigating this. This is where I need your help and why I really have this channel. Is there something that has put this place under suspect for the entire Bat family? Because to me, when I'm reading this, it just seems like Batwoman's going to go find out what's really going on in this place. And I'm thinking, what was the motivation? Now, I'm not looking for concrete evidence like what you would see in a cop show or something like that. The guy could have been shady in an alley, or maybe they did a background, some connecting piece there. If there was in one of the other books, please let me know in the comments down below. But this is kind of read weird to me, why is she there? Fake applying for this job to get information and get picked, but whatever. In here, we see that the place is unlocked, and the facade of it, the perception of it is that it's a very well maintained and run, facility. We got a Harley Quinn wannabe in here, kind of doing her own thing, staying in her room, and nobody thinks that it's weird that when she's allowed to leave her cell and go out to the yards and stuff, she closes her door and stays secret. Nobody's like, hey, what is she doing in there? That's just bad. That's just bad in itself. All the things you can do if you're, yeah. So yeah, that kind of happened in here. So a lot of this is this narrative of why are we checking this guy out and what's going on here, and then flashes from the director's flashback, and then of course, classic villains. So people that like these classic villains will be on board with this program so far. But my thing has always been the story. So it leaves a lot to the imagination, I guess. Or the why. Maybe we'll find out more. Maybe not. Maybe I missed it. Let me know. Next, The Joker, number 11. I don't know why I keep picking this up. It seems like every week that I grab this, it's just something to bash on, and I don't mean it that way. I'm generally waiting for the big Joker moment, the big ha-ha, the punchline, if you will. And we're not getting it. We do go into the background of the family, the cannibal family, in here a little bit and start learning a little bit more about that. But it was stuff that we already knew. We knew that, they're cannibals. They struck it rich with oil. And then the secret organization is like, hey, somebody's got to take the fault. And, we'll help you maintain, your wealth with our kind of facilities all over the world, our safe houses, right? An evil organization that helps hide bad guys and assist them with their money. For a fee, of course, because that's how they get paid. We went, but we already knew all that. But I guess maybe this was just this is why. Yeah, I'm not sure where they were going with it. I'm interested in this cannibal family. There's something that's always kind of interested me about, cult style families with weird niches like cannibalism or drug use or something like that. I've always been fascinated by that kind of stuff. But to me, it just seems like, hey, remember when we said this thing before? Here's some more words and detail to it, because you're probably not reading every issue of this. So that's why shows like mine exist, I guess. I don't know. But for the most part, a lot of, again, Jim Gordon doubting himself, needing the resurrection of himself, needing information, calling people, using a credit card, and just on and on and on. And then, of course, at the end, the Cannibal family have what they want. They have the Joker, and I don't know. And I keep telling myself, it's the last issue. I'm not picking up another. And then there I am because there's a small selection of books, and I was like, oh, I'll trudge through this. All right, so those are my DCs this week. Got to the comic book store a little late, so this is a small haul. Devil's Reign, Superior 4. Now, I'm on board with the Devil Reign story. I'm really enjoying that. I love the various characters. I love the layers of politics, corruption. Superheroes happen to be, viewed as the villains, while the villains are doing the law enforcement stuff, but everybody's keeping with their, I like that storyline. I'm not really sure why this is kind of a title with it. Yeah, it's not a one-off. It didn't end like a one-off, but it is this other story that's kind of out there, tie-in, if you will. In this one, we get Doc Ock, where we kind of, in Devil's Reign, we find out why he was so interested in going to the Fantastic Four Tower and opening a portal. And apparently that's to find the best versions of him throughout the multiverse, right? So he gets one. And, of course, it's a mesh-up of characters. They're not terribly unique. I have a problem with that, because if one of the variants, we'll just call them variants because I'm assuming that's what we're going to go with in this, is a Wolverine / Doc Ock, right? Then if we looked at it prospectively, well, then what would the other Wolverines be like throughout the universe? What other characters would that be mashed up with? We know that this is infinite, but we also found out at the end of this that there's a superior one. So that doesn't fit into what you're telling us, right? Like, ultimately, out of infinity, there is one that is truly superior. Right? It's infinite. There's just other versions of that one, because it's infinite. I'm not trying to make you think too hard, but that just struck me as odd. Some of the other members of the team is one that's like a Hulk, right? And he's got arms instead of like tentacles or whatever. And apparently he's an immortal Hulk because we just got off of that run. Yeah, I don't know, man. This thing I want to like it. Oh, and one's a Ghost Rider type one, only chains, right? So really, we're just taking known characters. We're giving them extra arms or appendages, and we're saying it's Doc Ock, really. I don't know. I think I can safely say I'm not really digging this. It seems very, I don't want to say amateurish, because that would just be horrible. But the overall great search in all this is to find that one superior one out there who knows that they are looking for him. Because we need to, I don't know, simplify a story. I don't know. It just narratively, it throws me off, and it's probably because I'm overlooking it. I'll say that I'm probably looking at it just a little too critically. Next, a book I liked. I really enjoyed this. Dark Ages, number 4. I love Dark Ages, and this one even got a little cheesy and it got a little campy. And I was like, you know what? If this is the in-between issue, when you read long runs of a story and you always get that 1 or 2 issues that are just like, I don't know why this issue exists. It just seems like it's, exposition of what's going on already, right? If this is going to be the in-between issue for them, I'll take that all day long. So in this one of my favorite moments is when there's a group of Ghost Riders right now, and they're kind of like pirates, right? They're going around stealing souls, right? No electricity, they're vengeful or whatever. And a team of good guys have to get over to Europe to get a bunch of refugees back over to the mainland because, let's be honest, Apocalypse, no matter what he's doing, it's not a good idea, no matter who he's got working for him. And that's kind of what's going on over here, as they've been split up into different kingdoms. So they're going to go get these refugees, and they get attacked by these Ghost Riders. And out of nowhere, like Ant-Man's riding Fin Fang Foom in his large form and just taking care of business. And I was like, kudos for the campiness. That was kind of cheesy. He's like riding in like a knight in shining armor on a dragon, right? And I was like, campy, but cool. I like what you did there. That was fun. That's what made the comic book fun. And great art in this as well. And of course, the kids in this, they kind of want to get involved with the whole hero aspect of everything. So Luke Cage's daughter and Peter Parker's daughter stowed away on the boat to go help as well. And of course, it's, oh my God, kids are here. Stop. Right? Devil Dinosaur Moon Lady, she's a little older in this one, make an appearance in here as well. So it's kind of good that they're incorporating a lot of these type of characters out there that you always hear a lot about, but probably don't see them much in comic books anymore, just to kind of refresh that IP out there. So yeah, this was fun. It's a fun book. Next, King of Spy. So I said in the beginning, yes, we're in issue 2, and we kind of get some of the ridiculousness added. And this is why I say this thing kind of reminds me of something that Guy Ritchie would direct. It just strikes me as that, because the bad guys in this, or the characters in it, are larger than life. In this one, we got a blind sniper who somehow or another can make his mark, and instead of trying to explain some woo-woo to us, the narrative is, we don't know how he does it. His son, like, doesn't shoot for him. He's just kind of there cleaning things up and you know, the scenes and everything. So how he does it, we don't know. We get a character, I say a character. Technically, it's 2 characters. You be the judge of this if you read this. Uh, one has legs, but no arms, and the other one has arms but no legs. So one is strapped to the other's back to make a full person. Apparently, they're going to get hired to do some wet work. And of course, you always got to add like a certain hint of family drama or emotional drama to it. So we find out that the King of Spies himself, the Spy King, King Spy, his last name's King. He's got a son who apparently does wet work for a living for the government, and they're getting kind of tired of our hero here running around just killing random bad guys that he decides that need to die right now because he lived that life and realized nothing really happened. So now he's killing key decision makers. There's a scene where he kills the U.S. president on a plane, and I swear, I think they were shooting for Ronald Reagan in it. Pun intended. Because it looked a lot like Ronald Reagan. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff going on here. A lot of cool criminals. Got great action scenes in this. Great narrative. Nothing's over explained. It's just like, boom, this is your guy. Kind of like what Guy Ritchie does. This is the guy. He can do this. Accept it. All right. Moving on. Department of Truth. So if you haven't picked up the kind of methodology that Department of Truth kind of follows, right? They got their mainline story, right? And then they do these like little kickoffs in itself instead of just making a whole nother issue. They just keep it part of the run. Case in point would be this issue here where we talk about the Mothman. We're actually looking back to the past of one of our characters, the one that wears a tinfoil hat everywhere. We find out why. We get some more narrative about what his role is. But all of this is case notes from an interview, right? Like it's not the story itself. It's just, right? Stuff like this all over the place. And I get it. Some people may not like that. I know a lot of people that don't like that because they did the same thing in Bigfoot, and a lot of people were complaining about it. They did add a lot more artwork in this one, and again, it's that very macabre, dark type of art in it, and I'm really kind of digging it. And I'm not really a dark person. Negative. I'm not dark. But this is fun, and I'm aware of the legend of the Mothman. I've been to Point Pleasant before. I've had to drive through West Virginia for work for several things, and I've been to Point Pleasant, and you know it's a history that they're very aware of, and that they just accept it for what it is. But they also brought in a lot of other stories in here about the Mothman too that I wasn't so much aware of. So I kind of looked them up online, and there's lore behind this. So it's not like just plucking fiction and then plucking like conspiracy in it with it. Also, we find out that something very weird is going on with these wild fictions, as they call them. You know, Bigfoot, you know, Mothman, aliens. There's something weird with this and Lee. There's a connection there. Now, we already know that there's a fake Lee out there, and we know that there's a real one. Which one are we dealing with in these flashbacks? I couldn't tell you. Your guess is as good as mine. Twist ending soon to come? What do you think? Probably. But I'm really digging this. I love this kind of play on conspiracy style history type stuff, especially in a more modern time. Like, it's easy to come up with conspiracy series or conspiracy theories from like ancient past or Renaissance, but we're dealing with things that we've probably have heard about in our lifetime, or maybe even experienced. I don't know. If you've seen the Mothman, let me know. But yeah, and also we do something really cool in here where we're playing off this character named Cold. Cold rides around a spaceship. He's got a very creepy smile. And he seems to talk to you telepathically. I think I know where they're taking this one. I don't want to spoil it though. It's another little conspiracy theory thing where they did like a big nationwide search to see if this guy was in people's dreams, right? And I think that's a good add-in, and it's real smart. So I hope that's the case. If I'm wrong, I hope it's something even cooler. Also, they kind of explain this whole how do you use disinformation to flip it back on itself. So why people are focusing on the Mothman and all this other stuff, they're actually leading credence to it, but how it actually can be more focalized and something can manifest, and how specific you need to be. Like when the government was trying to, in this particular story, when the government was trying to convince people, of things that are flying, right? So the buzzword came around, things that fly, or a flying object, or a flying thing, and that's how the Mothman was created. So apparently, with whatever woo-woo we're using to manifest this stuff, you have to be very specific, otherwise public perception can run wild and create fiction. Hence the term wild fiction. So that was really cool. So yeah, that's all my comic books this week. I really couldn't sink my teeth into buying something that I wasn't interested in. Like, I saw the new issue of Hulk Girl came out, and I was like, that first issue, it was just her complimenting herself like 90% of the book, and I just wasn't interested in it. So this is where I need your help. Is there something I should be jumping on? Like, I'm not interested in the Ben Reilly stuff, so I jumped off of that with Amazing Spider-Man. I tried to pick up Thor, God of Hammers, and they sold out of that. Like, I couldn't even go get a backup copy today when I went, so I don't know. So yeah, if there's something I need to be looking at, or I can at least tell my comic book shop, because he's like, hey, if there's some books you're looking for, let me know, I'll order them for you. He used to not do that, and now he's like, yeah, you've been picking up less and less, which means less and less money for me. And that's why I shop at that comic book store. He gets me. All right, so what's going on in the community? Let's break this down real quick. I actually had to open up a calendar here to keep track of all you wonderful YouTubers out there doing all your great stuff. I need my cheaters. And so what's going on? And more importantly, what stuff am I getting involved in? So we can kind of hang out and do things together. Let's see here. On the 18th, I'm going to be at Rob's Fat Stacks. If you haven't subbed him up, you definitely need to. That man is a slab, just collect, and he brings on people with slab, like that's their shtick, right? And I don't mean that in a negative term, but that's their thing. And God bless him for it, because I just don't have that kind of patience. But always great books, great collections. If you just like to see old books or valued books protected and sealed up and shown on YouTube because you can't find them, they're probably going to be somewhere on his channel. So yeah, on the 18th, we're going over there and we're doing a villains draft, and he's been very kind in asking me to kind of be part of that, because villains are kind of a thing. So I'm very excited about that. Basically, we're just going to pick the dream team of villains, and you probably will get to decide who can be on team, who can't, what rules we're breaking. You get interaction because there is a live chat, so definitely be part of that. Moving on the 24th, I am going to be on Roscoe, Geeked Out with Roscoe's channel. Another great YouTuber out there, talented artist, and just super nice guy. Like, he makes me nervous. I feel like I need to be a better person whenever I'm in a chat with him, or like, I'm like, wow, I'm really a bad guy. You see, really a nice guy. Like, you make me feel bad, Brad. Roscoe, you make me feel horrible. Let's see, moving on. On the 26th, you definitely want to know, because Legion of Comics is doing his 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and this is going to be spectacular. Lots of YouTubers are going to be coming on there. We're doing giveaways to help push this, to help support this. Legion of Comics is a great guy. He brings a lot of people together with his chats and stuff like that. So yeah. So definitely get on board with that. Go over to Legion of Comics and definitely check out his channel. Enter his contest, or just show up that night for the chat. very generous young man, so I'm very happy to help with that. On the 28th, my favorite one. Not that the other ones were bad, but this one's actually my favorite. Um, I'm going to be on In the Mix again. If you don't know, over at In the Mix, they have rap battles. And on the 28th at 9 p.m., we are going to have a rap battle. And apparently, I'm going against White Tiger, Cool Calm Collected. That name's crazy long. But apparently, we're going at it. We're going to rap against each other. So, there's rules, there's setups, and then we're bringing in a legit judge who legit raps. Like, the dude raps. He's got legit music videos out there, and he's a comic book artist as well. I love multi-talented people. They always look at things very artistically. I could have really came up with a better one than that, but I'm not editing this. And, of course, on the 31st, over at Evil Lair Projects and Builds, I'm building a lightsaber. I'm going to have that video out on the 31st, and we're making that for White Shadow. Again, another great person in the community. So we're going to be getting that done. Busy month this month. Busy month. All right, so let me end this with my thoughts on the Book of Boba Fett. Meh. Meh. Like, I get what they're doing. They're trying to take Western tropes, right? And they're inserting them in it, but they're messing it up. They're not doing it, I don't think, very effectively. I say this because there's always, that Western where the cowboys with the noble savages, and he learns the ways of the noblesse of the savages, and but we're doing it with a character that's not his shtick. Like, he's just a badass bounty hunter. Like, we're taking characters out of scenarios. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, we're just thinking outside the box. We're shaking and moving up the industry. Or maybe you even like it, and that's fine. I can't disagree. Can't argue taste, I guess. But I'm just not really digging this. Like, the Tusken Warriors were supposed to be bad. And in the latest episode, Boba Fett goes get his protection money because they robbed a train. Yeah, it's getting that tropey on the whole Western front. Right? And come to find out, some bikers, or the outlaws, went and torched this entire village of Tusken Raiders that he's been living with, working with, the whole 9 yards, got their magical woo-woo stuff going on, the whole thing, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, man, what a missed opportunity. If you would have kind of backed up the time frames, like, a little bit, all right? Remember when Anakin went and, like, slaughtered an entire Tusken Raider village? Remember when he did that? What if that was the scene to kind of, because those movies were garbage, and that would have kind of actually been, oh man, that would have been a little cooler. But I get it, time frames, he's got to leave the Sarlacc. Also, we got our Rancor, and this whole looking at things and showing some sort of humility to it is annoying. I'll say it. The Rancor was supposed to be this wild beast. It was supposed to be controllable, but come to find out, no, they're actually very loving puppy dogs that Boba Fett is actually kind of like drawn to. Like, an old man with a new puppy, I guess. I don't know. Tusken Warriors. And then we got the whole Vispa. Remember Vispas? God, every time I see. So we get a group of kids, about 4 of them. They like, body modification through, cybernetics and stuff like that. So they all got like a special thing, right? They're cyborgs, right? And it looks, their little speeder bikes look like Vespas, Vespa mopeds. They're all shite and brainy, and they couldn't get a job, so they stole some water, but the water's overpriced. So everybody's got a good intention, and Boba Fett's just trying to make everybody work and live together in some sort of weird dystopian hellscape, but commune at the same time. I don't know. The thing's a mess. Am I going to keep watching it? Well, of course I'm going to keep watching it. One of the coolest things I saw so far was a pair of brass knuckles with spikes on them that had tasers in it. And that gives me an idea. So with that, I got to go, guys. Hope you have a great week. What did you think about this week's comic books? More importantly, what did you pick up? What did you buy? What am I missing? What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Whatever the case may be, don't hesitate to comment down below. All right, guys. I hope you all have a great week. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.